So there will be a part 2, if you want to call it that, or a return, where we're basically going to pick up from here and go through that culvert all the way to the end and keep going. Last time I was here, I said that I returned, and today is the day. And what we're checking out is that culvert right there. That culvert I stopped at during my last exploration because conditions were getting to be too unsafe. But we've had a stretch of dry weather, water levels are a bit lower, and before returning here I did scout out the end location to make sure I could safely exit, and I can. We have a couple culverts and a couple openings to explore, and who knows what we'll see along the way. So if you would like to finish this with me, then all you need to do is come along with me. Last time I was here, I came up this opening following the water source, which led me to this pool, and I was apprehensive about going through it because I didn't know how deep it was, didn't know what was inside of it, as far as any turtles, snakes, anything like that. It was kind of cloudy. It's a bit clearer today. But the main problem I ran into is that the ground is about 6 to 10 inches deep of rotted, decaying material. When I stepped on it, it just clouded out the water, and like methane bubbles came up and it stunk like rotten eggs. So it wasn't very enjoyable, but we did make it to the breach of the tunnel and went inside, and as you can hear, there is a torrent of water. It is coming downhill, and there is opening at the other end. So we are going to get wet. Not going to be going swimming or snorkeling because it is actually relatively cold out. It's only in the 60s. It was in the 40s last night. But I'm going to make my way to the side. We're going to get in there and trudge through and see what this culvert is like. I don't remember this tree here last time. Oh, there's actually an orange goldfish in the water. Probably somebody released it. It's not a natural fish here. Clarity's definitely better. Deepest part is probably 3 to 4 feet. The last time I was here, this was underwater. The water was up to around there, so it's a couple feet lower at least. Definitely not really safe around here. It's like somebody chucked down a piece of wood with their satellite dish bracket. You probably can't see it, but right where the sun is shining through, probably a few dozen little tiny fish just kind of swimming in the current there. I do have a couple of flashlights with me. Let me get out my more powerful one, and then we're gonna step in there. It's roughly 2 to 3 feet deep, and then there is a little high rise of rocks that we can't stand on once we get in there. So I'm using the Sulfur SP33 version 3.0, and as a backup I do have my O-Light per run too. Alright, moment of truth, here we go. Oh yeah, it's up over my knees. Nearly at my waist. At least I could see this time. Okay, so I'm on a rocky outcrop here. So inside is all concrete. There's some stalactites hanging, some cave crickets. It's loud in here. like it is undercut where it's eroding. And there's a waterfall coming down, cascading. Another deep pool here. Oh, there's some fish down there. Let me see how my O-light does compared to this. There's my O-light. A bit more of a wider angle. And there's looking where we came from. And I have a pretty deep pool. I hope it's not too deep because certain things can't get wet that I'm carrying. And that goes back about 4 to 6 feet. It's all undercut. The bottom is a combination of like bedrock, stones, and dirt. But I'm a little apprehensive right now because I don't know how deep this is going to get. There's another undercut area. Might be shallower over here on the side. Yeah, okay, this is okay. Deeper in the middle, shallower on the sides. It's like a bowl shape. There's a pipe coming down. Probably a drain. Storm water. And I'll shut the light off in here and give you an idea how it looks with no lighting. They were a little less than halfway in. It's pretty dark right here. Made some progress, but I hit a bit of an obstacle, so I was able to stay dry and only in a few inches of water for the most part. And now there's another deep pool here, several feet, and I can't go this way. And to get over there, I have to go through the pool of water. I really don't want to go in there if I don't have to. And I can't jump because it's wet and slippery. I may have to try to walk through that. Not liking the looks of it. Okay, I think the worst is over, at least for now. Made it to the next opening here. See a little debris pile there. And then we're presented with this. Fenced in stone walling for like retaining concrete, multiple drains coming out, someone's backyard right there, or house or garage. rock fall obstruction, making some different falls here. And here's looking back. That is what we just came through. It was a bit more tedious than I was anticipating, but nothing I couldn't handle. I'm always amazed at the things you find at places like this. So right now, that little debris pile is a duffel bag. There's some type of green, looks like maybe a squirt gun over there. Floating there in that little pool is a ball. I guess we could consider that a toy, right? So you know what that means. It's abandoned. And then we have nature growing out of that rock wall. That tree is growing out of nothing. I don't know how that even decided to do that, but it did. It's growing on top of the stone wall and into the bricked off stone. I'm sorry, fenced off stone. And then over here for retaining, stacks of old tires. This tree right here looks like it's going to fall at some point. It's getting undercut, eroded. And then it's just various walls, dirt, down trees, and for the most part it's people's properties bordering this. So this maybe would have held an ashtray on top. Something screwed onto it. It could have been an ashtray, it could have been a light socket. Another random thing laying down here. We're going to have to cross over, running out of room here. You see a drill hole in this stone. Probably about an inch and a half diameter. Oh wow, this is sketchy. So this is exactly what I was talking about, what that retaining wall was doing with the fencing. They need it here. This is undermined really bad. All this is hanging out, and it's only the roots holding it in. And you can see the wall is even getting washed out behind it. I mean, I'm not going to stand under it long, but I'm standing under the earth right now, under the backyard. That's sketchy. Yeah, their fencing goes right by this tree line. I was standing underneath that. That's in a good, probably 4 or 5 feet. And it's only going to get worse. Having to zigzag back and forth across the water here. A little tiny spillway in front of us. And I'm seeing a lot of drill holes too. I'm not showing all of them, but I have come across probably a half dozen of them at least. Found an old brick. Alright, looking straight ahead. Another falls. Beyond that, I do see another culvert. I think that might be a road. So it's a bridge / culvert. You know what, while we're here, before we continue, we got some nice falls here. and some oxygenation, if that's what it's called, of bubbles. Let's see what that looks like beneath the surface. So that is a road right there, or yeah, it must be a road. It's fairly lengthy. So I'm down here under the bridge where the trolls live. Actually kind of stinks under here. And I don't know, the water's not moving much. Hopefully it doesn't get deep. Oh, I see a shopping cart. Ooh. Oh, found it. Good old Dollar General. Well, if somebody lost their Dollar General cart, you can find it right here. Hello? Winston. Must be a stormwater drain. I don't see the light. It's a combination of plastic, concrete, and brick. Yep, 100% that is a road. And if anybody's on their sun patio, sun porch, probably wondering what the heck I'm doing. It does get rather neat up here with the construction elements. We have straight vertical walls, combination of stone on the bottom, mortared together, and then, well, it looks to be like bricks, but they're almost like pavers. They're thicker and longer than bricks. And on this side, it's primarily stone. Oh, but we do have a collapse up here. Oh, wow. There's like a stone bridge or a stone culvert. There's someone's backyard right here. I guess it'd be kind of peaceful to hear the water. Yeah, that is a big collapsed area. It's like they cleaned it up though. I don't even see the debris pile here. But look at this. Almost reminds me of a train tunnel or a really old stone bridge, which I guess it technically is, but reminds me of like a railway. But that is a vehicle passage up there. That is a good size one too. And you'll be able to see my size compared to it. That is probably from the water to the very top in the center. It's about 25 feet tall, give or take. That is impressive. You can see the size of the block compared to my hand. Massive. Built to last, like they say. It's holding up quite well. Pretty impressive just for a culvert passage for water. Where the one we just went through, like that one, is not nearly as impressive. Looking from the backside, you can see we're older meets newer. Yeah, some steel beams, concrete decking up there, but it's built directly on top of this arch. Another bridge here. This one is much smaller. Nothing impressive, so we're just going to pass right through it and continue on. It's a random bucket. At first I thought it was hanging there, like they're going to lower it down to get a pail of water, but it's actually stuck on a bolt or something. Well, either really high waters pushed it there, or someone stuck it there. Look ahead. See what I see? Darkness. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this culvert is the last one and the longest one. More importantly, it actually goes underneath a school. And school is currently in session. So we'll be walking beneath kids in their classrooms. Before we get to that, I'm going to change batteries, make sure I got my lights ready to go, and we're going to enter inside. That one looks like a metal corrugated / concrete culvert, and we'll see how far it goes. I know it's at the end because I scouted it, but I don't know what the conditions are like inside. This is going to be a bit challenging. That's a pretty deep pool of water, the deepest I've seen yet. I can't see the bottom. It's probably at least 5 feet deep. I'm going to be forced to go along the side here on that little ledge to get over there. If I was here at a different time, had different clothing, I would go through it, but it's pretty deep. Also, I don't see any light in there. It's dark, it's loud, and I don't know how much we're going to be able to see or how much you're going to be able to hear me, so I'm going to keep talking to a minimum and show you highlights along the way. But before we do that, I just want to point out there are more drill holes here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what they're for. If you guys have any idea why they would have drilled into this, feel free to let me know. And looks like somebody's doing a drop off there. Don't know what's in there, don't want to know. Are you guys ready? This is the final stretch. And it's like facing the big boss at the end. The biggest, darkest, longest one. No water lie. You could probably fit like a UPS truck in here with how big it is. Definitely at least 2 vehicles wide. Probably a locomotive as well. I mean, it's big. So just to show you really quick, it is corrugated metal, concrete base, and we got discharge up there from somewhere else. It goes straight and then goes around a right-hand bend and then a left-hand bend, so it snakes. It's not a straight or just a curve, it zigzags. And somewhere up ahead, we're going to be underneath an actual school that's in operation right now. Say goodbye to the daylight. That's the last time we're going to see it until we reach the other side. walking the shoulder here, it's a bit easier, a bit quieter. I will say, despite this being the biggest culvert in all aspects, it's probably one of the easiest ones to navigate. There's no obstacles. It's sound, it's solid, it's modern. I'm guessing this was put in maybe when the school was put in, which I don't know when that was, but this doesn't look all that old. But I'd imagine they had to rip open the ground from the surface to install this. I don't think they bored this underground. It's not terribly deep. I would say no more than 10 to 20 feet beneath the surface. That's just a guesstimate though. It's so big and dark though, my flashlight, even though it's super bright, is not really doing it justice because it's just absorbing it. Oh, we do see some daylight. And we do have a pipe there. Before we investigate that, let's see what it's like without any lights at all. So we're looking where we came in. That's the entry where the water is spilling out. And looking the opposite end, that's where we're heading. This one is concrete, and there's like a junction up there made out of brick, and the pipe goes to the left. A little bit more than a 45-degree angle. Do hear water running back there too. This water, although it's not deep, it's moving at a pretty good clip. And when I scouted this out, I'm like, oh, this looks pretty nice. This would be worth going through it. So what we have in front of us is a nice little scenic spot. We have a little spillway right here. Further in the distance, a little tiny waterfall. And we have reached the end officially. And that is what we just came through. The school is over there, so towards the beginning of it, when we curved it first, that was under the school, then it curved away. That's a big opening, and it's ultra modern. It's all concrete base, concrete walls, then the corrugated piping on the inside. And then from here, it just continues upstream. As far as I know, there's no more culverts. So we have seen this all the way through to the end. The only thing I'm going to do right now is get up to the waterfall there, give you some views of that. And then I'm going to share some thoughts with you about some upcoming culvert projects I'm going to be doing. So if you do enjoy these, continue watching. I have some details to share with you. Look what I just found. I was just getting ready to show you the waterfall, and I saw this opening here. And there's water coming out. Look what I see. That is another culvert. That one though is corrugated plastic, and I would have to get hunched over to go in there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere special or spectacular, but somehow a stroller did get washed down, maybe through there. But yeah, interesting just to find another little hidden culvert flowing into the stream. It looks like there may have been another type of culvert here steel one, and it was embedded in concrete, and now it's no longer here. All right, just for you, for those of you still watching, I'm gonna give you a few nice shots of this cascading waterfall. You may be surprised that the water's rather deep. I'm actually standing on a rock, and it's probably up to my waist, deeper than I thought. This is a concrete wall, and it's working as a spillway. I don't know the reason for it, but it does form like a pond or some pooling behind it, which I'll give you a shot of in a little bit. But it is rather beautiful though. And look at that, that glass. Nice reflections. One more thing I'm going to do for you is give you some more underwater footage, both up here and down there. quieter over here. Did jam my toe on a rock, getting you that footage. Slid off right into a rock, but not the first time, won't be the last time. This is a nice way to end this exploration. Beautiful nature. So before I share my final thoughts on this exploration, I want to let you know about some upcoming projects related to culverts. And those of you who are still watching, well, you're going to definitely appreciate it. Those who skipped out early, they're a loss. So as far as summertime culvert explorations go, as far as walking through like we did today, or even going as far as swimming and snorkeling, this is the last one for the season. Today is September 22nd, which I believe is the last day of summer. And although it's cooler, colder temps are on the way, fall's around the corner, so that means future projects are going to be put on hold until spring. With that being said, between now and spring, I do have a culvert video I'm going to be doing. It's one you've seen before, one that's very, very impressive, but I'm not going to be going through it on foot. I'm going to leave it right there for you. You can use your imagination to see when that video comes out how I'm going to be navigating that culvert. Come springtime, I have right now 2 definite culvert projects. One is behind a resort that flows under a multi-lane highway to what I believe is a now decommissioned reservoir. That's one. And then there's a second one, that is near a cemetery. And I don't know if it goes through the cemetery, underneath it, but I do know there's a culvert in the vicinity of a cemetery. So those ones will be coming out in the spring, but that other one will be coming out between now and then. But I do have to wait for the right conditions for that one to happen. Regarding this, I am glad I made it back to finish it all the way through. I was here, I think it was late July when I was here, and we stopped where we started today. And thankfully, Mother Nature cooperated. We had no rain for about a week. Levels are lower, water's clear. I was able to see where I was going safely. And some of you may be asking, why didn't you bring someone with you? Well, as I've explained in the past, I only bring someone if absolutely necessary, like when I brought RJ to the mysterious waterfall, because I was going to a really remote area. Here, I'm not that remote. I'm within a city. I could pretty easily get help if I needed it. I could yell at someone in their backyard if I had to. I also don't like putting others at risk of getting hurt. So I feel more comfortable doing things like this myself. If necessary, I will bring someone, but that's why I did this solo. Everything just worked out as it should, and I have no complaints as to how this turned out. In total, we went through, including the very first video, I think it's 4 culverts. I think. I could be wrong. But I think the exciting find for me was that big stone arch, which was for the roadway. But that was unexpected. I didn't think we were going to find something like that. But it is always fascinating, as I mentioned, seeing what you're going to find along the way. The erosion, the undermined earth, random items that get washed downstream, and then stuff like this, just beautiful areas of nature. Anyways, guys, if you made it this long, thank you so very much for doing so. If you do enjoy my photography, what you've seen in my photo montage, consider checking out my second channel, JP Photography. And if you do like what you see here in this video, check out my playlist or feel free to browse my channel. And if you like what you see, not only give the video a thumbs up, but if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thanks once again, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.